sure everything's good. Hmm. 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 Okay. So I muted that, so it's not going crazy. Oh yeah, switch box thing. Let's get the comment box. Where's that? Pop out chat. Perfect. And we'll get the chat right here. Alright, yeah, we'll start early. Whoever wants to join in can always feel free to join in later. But yeah, we'll start early. So, what's up, Dragon Ball fam? It's your boy, Hilaire, here with the infamous or famous, however you want to see it, Robert Rietze, with his brilliant red decks running left and right. He does it once again with launch. So yeah, I'll let you do your introduction, and then you can tell us about your weekend, man, with another red top.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Yeah, it feels good. I like red. As long as red keeps being playable, I'll play it, which is
Facts.
hopefully forever. But yeah, so I got a top eight. Losing only to in Swiss, I only lost to Mecha Frieza, to Matthew Coombs' build,
Mm,
and I lost. I would have lost the baby,
mm,
but the baby player kept making me count how many cards were in my hand,
mm,
and I beat him game one. And then game two, he got me real easily. But literally any combo I did, like the guy was very nice, no insults to him.
mm.
But we drew by the end of it because he kept literally being like, "How many cards in your hand?" And I had like 15, so I had to be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7. By the end of it, I mean, you got to figure that it takes 15 seconds to count. Like, it doesn't take that much. But then I'd combo a card, and he'd ask me, "How many cards in your hand?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
14." He's like, "Can you count?" And I'm like, "All right, I'll count."
Uh,
And then on my kill, then he goes to kill me, and we have a minute left in time.
mm.
And when he's supposed to kill me, he counts again, and he's like, "Well, how many cards in your hand?" And I'm
That's
like,
that's
I'm
crazy for
like
a deck that doesn't
one,
really
two.
attack. It's just negating. That's insane, dude.
Card,
Yeah,
card game,
I
card
didn't get
game.
it at all. But like I was making jokes about it to my friends because I'm like, there's no, I probably wouldn't have won that game, but like I almost felt like a bad player just being like, fine, you know what? You want to keep counting? I will let you count. I won game one. Like I'm not gonna lose because of this. If
Yeah.
anything, I'm just gonna win or
Yeah.
draw. And then so I got a higher seed in top cut, which might have mattered.
Mm.
Um, but I played against two Dark Brawlies, and I didn't have any Violent Rays main, so that was rough. I'll talk about it more in my video that Eddie will upload in a few days.
Did
But I
you
cut it.
you two old both are Broly players without Violent Rays?
Yeah, so one of
My
them was
God.
so I talk about it in the video, so spoilers. But one of the players was on the heartfelt strategy,
Neg.
and he attacked with it, and I go Majin Buu it, make it a 20k,
Mm.
and he goes, "That's fine." And I'm like, "All right, well, I'm defended out of it. I'm a 25." And then he's like, "Okay, awaken," and he reveals heartfelt, and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." Uh, and he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Nope, I'm the master of red." Like this is when it comes to if you telegraph to me a red play, I'm gonna know what you're doing and I'm gonna disrupt it. And then game two, he was like, "All right, I'm not gonna fall for that again," and immediately heartfelt it. So I'm like, "Topo," and he's like, "Yep, that's a thing." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Like like you didn't have the other attack. Like it doesn't matter at all. Like I felt really bad for him because he played well. Like it wasn't like he did a misplay and was like, "Oh, I should have known." Like that's the nature of launch.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue when I'm playing tricolor what version of launch I am.
Mhm.
I'm either a red green arrival deck or I'm a red blue defensive deck.
Mhm.
And I find out based on my draws. Like I got to keep ebbing and flowing throughout the game. And then I played another Dark Brawly, and all I remember is playing Piccolo on two and him being really excited to warp it. And then I had already knocked him down to like like 3 life.
Mm.
And then I was like, okay, summon another Piccolo, play a Trunks, attack you. And he didn't have a negate for it. So I hand dumped him game two. And I think I went up to like I had the bean with my other energy open. So it was my entire hand. Like I was able to get rid of all 11 cards on turn 3. And I think that was the first game. And then the second game, he was like, and he Mechabora naming Piccolo after I'd already played one on turn 2.
That's
Once he got
that's so silly. Like, oh,
yeah. Well, I mean, in his defense,
damage has already been done, bro. Like,
yeah. Well, and so I played one drop Zarbon against him, attacked with it. He defended it, and then I used Toa to untap it, and now it was a 25k base. And he's like, oh, all right. And then I went beans and went crazy again. And I was like, yep, 110. Good luck, Dark Brawly. And I was actually nervous because he goes, super combo. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Super combo. I'm like, well, now we're in trouble. Super
like
combo.
Nervous.
And then he did the last super combo. And I'm like, okay, well, that was 4 super combos. What am I at? Oh, I'm at 105. Okay, it's not mathematically possible. Okay, he's only got 5Ks left. But I definitely for a second was like, if this is the one Dark Brawly player who runs Kai's, I'm dead. Like out of nowhere, it would just blow me out of the water. But it was a pretty good. And then for best of 1, I got second place. I didn't do a profile on it because it's best of 1, and it was like 40 people, 30 people. It wasn't very big. But Legends beat the crap out of me. I didn't even get the chance to play.
It was bad.
It was really bad.
It was
so bad that I offered the split ahead of time, not knowing how bad it was. And Legends like, no, we won't split.
No.
But what I'll do is I'll say the winner should buy the loser dinner. Okay, we'll do that. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a gentleman's agreement. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And then I find out he only did that because he felt so bad about how badly he was going to beat me. I didn't even let him pay for lunch. I was like, well, never mind. And he literally I won't ruin what he was playing. If he does a profile, great. But if not, it's his future. It's his future deck. But it's definitely it was ridiculous to say the least. But it was fun. It was just a nice weekend to get away. I needed it. Work's been rough, so. Good job, gamers, for throwing a good event. And there was only a little bit of drama every once in a while. Besides that, it was a good, solid event.
Facts. All right, I guess we got Matt. You want to give your introduction and tell us how your weekend went?
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Matt. I finished second place at the Gamers event. Pretty cool. I played a build of Mecha Frieza that myself, teammates had worked on, had a discussion with Eddie about ahead of time. Really liked where my list was at and what I was going for, even though Robbie called my deck bad multiple times throughout the entire weekend.
So bad. It was so bad. I was so mad when it beat me.
I said the same thing when I first saw it. I'm like, man, what the hell am I looking at? And I had to sit. It took me a good 10 minutes. I had to sit there and analyze it. And after I looked at it, I'm like, all right, it's not as bad as I thought. I'm like, we just gotta change the ratios.
No.
It's not like when you actually sit there and look through, because he showed me his entire list. Though you play tested, like I was looking at every single card. I was like putting the dots together. I'm like, okay, maybe if we adjust some ratios, it'll be there. But like initially when I saw the list, I'm like, oh shit, it's not gonna be good.
Well, you just like when you look at like all the card choices, like a lot of people just don't know how the deck works or the deck functions, which I was able to demonstrate on camera across the course of the weekend, which is just really aggressive, like trying to get the game over fast, being able to out tempo the opponent on both turns and just tap them out inevitably and either go for a kill turn or go for a Sells no turn. And so that's what I played towards. So I just played the deck incredibly aggressively. Had a really solid weekend in Swiss. I went I started off 4-0, 8-0 in games, 2-0 all my opponents. I was close to the first one done just about every round, which felt really good. One of those 2-0 is included Robbie. So
it did.
One of those 2-0s included Robbie. But hold on, I'll tell you. So
it was so good.
Game 2, right? Game 2, I got really loose. I got really excited because I was just beating this man's ass so bad. It was so bad, bro. Game 2, it was like a clinic I was putting on. He never did anything the entire game. I was just like, nope, I have the negate for your attack, so you're not gonna be able to draw cards, or I have the giant ball, the rest your Piccolo, or I have this. I had everything. It was a god draw for sure. But I made the mistake of going for game with Basil, And all I was thinking about was like getting Coolered or getting Hercule Booze. So I was like, I pumped with like 3 final flashes. I was like, just like,
wait. Keep in mind, he only has 1 card left in his hand. Just
Yeah.
one card. That's it. He has no life left. And so I go to draw, and I draw 2 cards off my combos. Of course, I don't hit my hero's lineage. I go to a rival in my Majin Buu, and he tyrannical blows it with the last card in his hand. Okay? I arrival in another Hercule and Buu, and I draw a card. It's not hero's lineage. The next card was hero's lineage.
Yep.
So had he not had the God Hand and tyrannical blow, I'd go to game 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the same thing happened for him for game 1. Where
Well,
like
game 1
I was doing
Zeno.
Yeah, he just was like, okay. I was at like 6 life, and he's like, Basil attacks, and I'm like, here it comes. And I'm like, sure, go to 4. And he's like, Zeno, and I'm like, that's fine. I can defend against this, maybe. And he's like, hand dump. And I'm like, nope, dead.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Now when the final flashes start kicking in, that's when it's probably
Yep.
Final flash for free on the cell quad. That's insane, dude. That's wow, dude. That's
no,
insane.
man. Well, it's really funny because all my games, like I'll just have these extra United symbols, and if I'm going for game, I just like I sit up in my seat like really high, and I'm just like just draw cards, draw cards.
Yeah.
So then I lost to Legends 2-1 on stream. Oh, that was my first time playing against.
Last night, I sent it to my group chat. I was watching an entire tournament, bro. It was like 12:57. Did that really just happen? This guy rips the cat blow off the top of his deck and just plays it. I'm like, did that really? It was 12:50. I have his screenshot. I asked my grandma, like, did this really just happen, bro? I saw that was bad.
so like we played a really good set in round 5, and then so I lost 2-1, and then round 6 I played against the Power Thirst deck, and I just like I had no idea what he was doing to start with, and then I played the matchup really aggressively, and I shouldn't have. I learned that lesson going in the top cut, so I ended up losing 2-0 to him in Swiss. Top 8, I played against King Piccolo 2-0. Turn 3 kill each time with Cell Zeno. I was very fortunate.
So you start with 6 life, man.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's rough. And then top 8 was against Legends, and it was really funny. I beat him 2-1. I stole serve. I beat him when he was on the play. And my plan was I just basically mulliganed for my 2 hidden power E Supreme guys, and both my turn 1 and my turn 2, I just double strike with leader swing like each time, just to get his life down early. And then I just created this whole entire narrative where all it came down to was if he's on the play, I'm going to hold my defensive cards like Final Flash, Giant Ball, etc. for his finishers, but if I'm on the play, I'm just going to make the game revolve around Swift Retaliation Cooler. And then so I would just stockpile both those in my hand, so then he couldn't negate my leader swing, and then I would go for game. And then so that's how I ended up getting him in the best of 3. And then top 4 was the Power Thirst Mass Saiyan, which everyone saw on stream. Really cool set of games. Ended like pretty dramatically. In the finals, I lost to Vegeks. Unfortunately, 2-0. I wish I would have had a better plan for that matchup. And then also, I could have won game 2. I just misplayed really, really bad on turn 5, and I could have made the game go to game 3. But either way, we were both pretty exhausted. So I'm okay with losing in the finals. It's not that bad.
You're not okay with it. You mean you just accepted it?
I did accept it. I really wanted the W, just because it's like, you know, I've gone through a lot through the DBS career, so it'd been cool to get the win. But either way, it was a really fun event.
Trust me, it's never fun to lose, man. But you did a hell of a job, though. Both of you guys did a hell of a job. You, Robbie, and Legends. What I did see, I ain't gonna lie, yours is probably the only deck profile I started looking through. I got like, I think 6 minutes into it, and I'm like, you know what? You can tell Matt talked to me, because like his first 6 minutes in, it's all 4 of us, bro. I'm like, this shit makes me so proud right now. It's literally all 4 of us. I'm like, oh, we working our magic, boys. I'm happy you bought the freeze up to 4, because like that's why I was asking you to tell me your turn 0 to turn 2 plays. So I'm like, okay, cool, because it wasn't clicking. When I saw the deck, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, Rob, I'm like, bro, this deck does nothing, dude. And I was like, Matt, show me your turn 0 to turn 2 plays. And he told me the generic plays. And I'm like, okay, cool. How about this deck? And when you started going into depth on it, that's when I told you, I'm like, all right, this card 100% needs to be at 4, because it sounds like no matter what deck you're playing against, you want to play that Frieza, because that Frieza is going to get you United Symbols if you're not. That's when we started putting dots together. And that's when I'm like, okay, cool. You're on to something. I didn't know it was gonna use. If best of one, I can see you taking an entire event because people are just not gonna catch on that fast. I don't know if you were just killing them supremely fast and they didn't understand what's going on or what. I thought best of three, you would take all your game ones because game ones, no one's gonna know what's happening. But I thought at least games two, people were gonna put up a fight. Like my God, but just a 2-0 everyone. That's some savageness, my friend. So congrats to you on that. But I will tell you,
Yeah.
Matt, tell me those 4-0s felt good, man.
The forest felt great. I'll tell you, like you were saying about how like it's hard to tell when you look at the list how you're
Yeah.
killing people so fast, but it really is just like you're just aggressive. Yeah, is that, and you're just tapping them out so much. And then the promo is just so absurdly good, like defensively, and the fact that offensively it's a one drop 15K is like it's disgusting. Like you always have a relevant attacker at all times, and you can just always pressure the opponent, and then you just get to play that we were talking was just I just want to play a really disruptive game. So that's how we just built the deck. We're just disrupting in the first 3 turns and then trying to win. Like that's it.
With that being said, guys, I'll give you guys a heads up right now. If you don't have your Freezer promos, pick them up. And if you're playing black, pick up your Quetzalcoatls because if you don't have either or, and you're going against this deck, you're going to get slaughtered. At least Quetzalcoatl will make them pay taxes. But without it, bro, it's not going to be a fun day for you because once that Freezer promo drops and you have no response, it's really not going to be a fun day for you at all, man, because that's just the beginning of it. You're going to attack, and like, okay, I'll rest this. And then that mask will be like, whoa, hold on, Slayer roll. Trigger auto is gonna keep going downhill. It's not gonna be fun at all, bro. Like
no, man. Right the round 1 I played against Hatchiak, and it was disgusting because like I promoed because it was like turn 5, so I was like I promoed. He swung, and then I was like Bergamo tap 2 off that trigger. Bergamo tap 2, and I just tapped him out. And then it went back to me, and then I was just like, "Sell Zeno."
Exactly, that's what I said.
Guys. Cooler power burst game. Like,
definitely 100%. I was telling someone on Untap too. It's crazy. I was playing someone on Untap today. I forget his name. He was like, "Bro, just help me." He didn't know who I was. I'm like, "Bro, it's Eddie saying like, I'll help you out." I said it's crazy because I looked at his list. And I don't know if you guys know each other or what. I forgot his username. I have a feeling you guys know each other because I looked at his list and I'm like, bro, is this Matt online? I swear to you, I was looking at your list. I'm like, this is the original list. He had the Android 18s in there. I'm like, bro, this looks exactly like the list you showed me. I'm like, okay, are you sure this is not Matt? He was like, no, it's not. It's just, I forgot what he told me his name was. I'm like, okay, just stay tuned for a deck profile tomorrow because your list is damn identical of what you showed me before. What he had the 2 Android 18s, he had the Barrock that rested energy, he had a bunch of stuff. I'm like, bro, this looks really identical to what he showed me. I'm like, all right, just check it out for tomorrow. But yeah, so besides that, like the matchups and stuff, how was the overall like how'd you guys feel? Let me put it this way, a simplistic question. How do you guys feel that gamers did in setting a precedence for future best of 3 events? Like, do you feel like it's doable? Like, do you actually see how it would play out from now? Like post COVID, like Florida, of course, Florida let go of its mandates. Personally, me for PPG events, I'm still gonna require that people still come with masks. That's one thing I would change because I wouldn't leave. Don't give players options, dude. Like that's one of the worst things I think you do. But I think the overall event was great. But how do you guys feel? Because you guys were there, right? So I want you guys' feedback so it could help me and Machado like build up for the PPG event at the end of the end of the month. So how do you guys feel about the event? Like, how do you guys feel like it should have been better? What do you guys feel like they really did good on that you'd want to see happen in the future? For both Matt and Robbie, since you guys are there.
Robbie, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I like it. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's I thought they did a great job for running it. What's the phrase that was on the news today? It's as good as it's going to get for the COVID situation. Like, so this is the new world. Like, and I know that's a hard thing for everyone to hear and like understand, but like, we're not going to get to a point where COVID never exists again, right? Like even if we get herd immunity, it's still going to be this recurring thing like the flu, but like we have to have booster shots, blah, blah, blah. So you either accept that the people who want vaccines at this point that can get them have it, or the people that don't want the vaccines, they don't get it, right? Like that's where we're at now. Like, unless I'm wrong, as far as I know, I mean, it's 58% of American adults at this point have the vaccine, is what CNN put out. So that could be all fake. Who knows? But that means half the people that have been eligible for it have gotten it. Well, that means we're at that point where like I don't go to the Publix anymore and wear a mask. I don't go to the bank and wear a mask anymore. Like in my area in town, we just live life normally and it's just normal life again. We're all vaccinated that want to be. I did the vaccine because I do want to go to events and I want to travel. But it was cool that the people didn't require it, and then unless a player asks, and I liked that because it's effectively the same thing anyway in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, if you wear a mask but you guys are still cutting each other's decks, or if you're still shuffling each other's decks, well, what did the mask do when your hands are probably dirtier than the mask? But all the other stuff worked. I feel like we're back to it. Like, I mean, I know that's why Bandai is bringing us back in June.
Yeah.
We get real regionals again. And I think webcams, it's kind of the opposite. I think the question is, how do we keep webcams around is going to be the thing. And how do we keep webcams relevant? Because think about it. Like, I participated in 10 regionals this season? I've never got to go to 10 regionals, and I never could unless I decide to quit my job and become a professional Dragon Ball player, which I don't think that's a job, unless someone's got an application I don't know about. But like going to Chicago, then going to Virginia, and all these places, that would add up a lot. And you're not going to make that kind of money at a regional unless they majorly increase the pricing. Like you might make your money back, but you're not going to profit unless you win every single one. So that being said, it was cool that we had these webcams where we could play online. So it'd be cool if now we get to see a mixture going forward, like 2 regionals a month that are webcam based, and then like the rest are in person. Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Makes sense. Matt?
Yeah, no, I agree a lot with what Robbie said. I do think that if you're trying to hold an event right now, you kind of have to be all or nothing. I think making it like optional is, like you were saying, Eddie, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like you get it, and it's like really depends on like the atmosphere and who's there, and a lot of it is like the people that are there like locally, right, for an event, like they're going to all be much more comfortable. But when you do have those people coming from the outside, you really want to be able to have an environment that makes people feel as comfortable as possible. So for the gamers event, it was a lot of just like a lot of Florida zone of not that many people traveled. The people that did travel and people that did opt to wear masks did. I myself, I did not. I've been vaccinated. And I wash my hands, I shower, I clean myself. I was much more concerned about the hygiene of others at this event than I was actually concerned about that portion of it. So I really just think it is making sure that if you're going to hold an event, then make sure you're just holding people to some sort of standard, and then making sure that your players are comfortable speaking up if they aren't comfortable. That's probably the most important thing, is managing that expectation. At this event, I didn't see anyone really make a complaint about their comfort level. And like I said, people that chose to wear masks did wear masks, and there wasn't a single instance of time where I rarely saw someone like offer to cut and then someone refuse. So I still think it's almost like this social stigma that people are getting over. But if you feel comfortable wearing a mask, you should by all means continue wearing a mask. I don't want to get this into a mask versus anti-mask conversation. I think you should do it. I think you should do whatever makes you comfortable, like regardless.
Yeah.
I think that's a good attitude to have too. Like, do what makes you feel comfortable. I mean, I think that's what's going to be going forward too. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, when you try to tell people what they should wear or anything like that, and that's kind of it. Like, in the news today, there was a discussion about whether or not the health department would in the future strongly recommend that during the flu seasonal period, that masks would once again become mandated. Just every year, whenever the flu season hits a certain toll, whether now the CDC has the ability to just mandate it again, because they did it for this. And I was like, man, this sucks. Like, now we did it one time, and so now it's kind of like the Patriot Act. It has to be signed in every few years, but no president has ever been like, you know what? I feel like it's time for this to end. Every president's like, okay, we'll sign it again.
Facts. Let's catch up on some comments. I forgot to look at us. Pac-Man Killer, what's up, man? Oh, that crack is face timing. Yeah, from earlier, Frank Castle. He's on some next one, bro. Coop says, "What's up, Matt?" Coop says, "What's up, Eddie and Matt?" Robbie looks like June, Judge Doom. Consistency feels good. I'm telling you, that's why, bro. I'm not gonna lie, guys. In the future, builds you're gonna see. I actually go from 4-0s to 3-0s. I tried so hard to keep the 4-0s alive, but there's some things we had to go to 3-0s. But we'll see those. We were also offered judges TOs for cut. Yeah. All right. So my whole philosophy on that, right? Gamers always runs a great event, all that good stuff. But yeah, if I was there, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would literally before the event. I'm a different breed of guy. Like I'm nice, but I don't mind being the bad guy for the overall sake of everyone being on a fair level. Because like it's like you guys said, you guys didn't see anyone who really felt weird or anything or spoke up, right? But a lot of the times, people might not speak up because they want to be
Mhm.
that guy. So that's why I said 100% for PPG. I'm letting you right now. Tell Machado like mask or mandatory because I don't want a guy to say, I didn't want to say, but I want to be that guy because no one's enforcing. I'm just gonna say off rip, hey, mask is mandatory. Like I'll be like, the same thing with webcam events, right? Like I said, I won't play it because I'll go in and I'll be the guy to enforce zones. A lot of people don't want to be the judge that says, hey, I have to give you a warning because your zones just suck. Like they don't want to be that guy. I don't mind being that guy for the sake of keeping everything fair. It's the same thing as a player. A player doesn't want to say, "Hey, I don't want to call a judge on you. Can you just no?" They're just be quiet and play the game and ask you questions. I don't really like that. I guess it's like the military perspective because I've seen a lot of my soldiers that are just scared to speak up and they'll just go through it. I don't think that's fair. So that's why I say that. My
I think that's a
boy,
good thing to do. Like, as long as you're putting it out there ahead of time, it
yeah,
also changes the dynamic.
yeah,
Like, I'd be really pissed if I went to your event and you didn't put it out ahead of time and you're like, hey, you got to wear a mask.
yeah.
And I'd be like,
I'll tell everyone
no,
to say
I'm
that.
not wearing a mask.
Nah, yeah,
Yeah.
everyone going to VPG, bring your mask. You can pay, you can go up if I want to. I mean, you're not gonna get a refund. You can go in the game, you can go in the shop with your mask on. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. You're wearing a mask. I mean, it's not because you have to wear a mask, like it's required, but to get in our building for the sake of everyone and for the sake of like everyone being on the same. Like it's a fairground. It's a fairground essentially. Like you have to wear a mask. If you want to take it off, you can step outside, do what you want to do, and you come back in the store. You have to wear a mask. There's hand sanitizer on the tables. You have to use hand sanitizer after you play your matches. All that good stuff. We're gonna keep it regular. Make sure everyone is safe and no one has any questions, comments, or concerns about safety. Because safety, honestly, is the biggest thing. Because without that, we can't do these online or these in real life events. All right, let's finish the con. This man said condoms are like masks. I'm dead. All right, next comment. Yeah, that's some great input about the whole situation. And they said ban Koetsukai, sign Bulma player. Well, yeah, Koetsukai would pretty much kill Bulma players, not gonna lie. But Koetsukai guys, pick it up. Like I said, if you're playing black, pick up Koetsukai. If you're playing yellow, drop your Nimbus and play the Frieza promos because it's so much better. Like Matt could attest to it. You don't have to discard a card. You're playing it. You can use it. I'm not gonna get into his deck profile. You'll see. You can use it
Well,
on both
bro,
sides essentially.
you were
Like
the one who thought I was crazy for not playing Nimbus.
no, because at first I didn't see other negates. I'm like, okay, what happens if you run into Koetsukai? And I completely missed the part that you were playing the Frieza's army. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I'm like, what is that in the background? I'm like, oh, that's immune negates with the tokens, and I was cool with it because that was my biggest concern. Since I'm like, you're owning a gate, you're
Doesn't the
coming.
token still make you discard too?
Yeah,
No,
I would sell the warp too, but I can
yeah,
choose not to play the
you
token.
still would have to work. I don't know if you can choose or not though for the
Oh,
because it just
either way.
says play. Yeah. But the thing about it is just like a hard negate versus the Frieza thing is just there's a lot of answers to it. There's
I
there's a
mean,
lot of if you're playing against
so I'll
black
tell you,
specifically. Go ahead.
Koetsukai is so good that the moment I see it hit your drop area, I'm trying to kill you next turn. like,
I'm telling you, dude. Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
that's 100%. That's what happened. Like in all my games I play, and I saw Koetsukai in the drop, I
yeah.
was just like, okay, this man's dead next turn. Like they have to die, otherwise I just lose to that card. Like so
You know what's,
bad.
Yeah.
you know what's weird is I could tell, like, I actually looked forward to when my opponents, several times during the tournament, they would be like, Kyotsukai, and you'd see that look on their face like, I just stopped you, your launch. And I'd just be like, all right, I'll just combo with this 10K now.
I was gonna
That's right.
against launch. Against launch, it doesn't really matter because like you can
No.
just defend yourself so well. So you're just like, oh, okay.
You wait
Well,
till
it,
his turn.
it sucked because, like, I obviously would prefer to a rival a cooler,
Yeah.
but hey, guess what? He's still a 10K defender. Like,
Yep.
it's fine. Like, all right, you got me. He's only a 10K. Um,
Oh, we have.
yeah, I definitely wish I had some of those in my sideboard because I would have brought them in versus you for that savage
Yeah,
game.
Quetzalcoatl's nasty, dude. I'm telling you. Oh, shout out to my boy Eric. Yeah, we have Eric in the building. Shout out. Really appreciate you guys for hosting the event. Unfortunately, this time I couldn't make it, and I to this day regret it because now I have to deal with infinite memes about how Dark Broly just got slaughtered by a certain leader that I will not talk about because Dark Broly is the black deck. I'm sorry, guys.
Don't worry,
But
bro. I stopped it from winning the
exactly.
entire event. I
We,
stopped
There you
it.
we
go.
appreciate that. We
I feel like
appreciate
Dark
that.
Brawly is too well. Like Dark Brawly's, we're at that point now where because the format was so stagnant for so long, like we haven't had like no one's come up with anything clever. Like I mean, what did we have like
Wait
for
till the
top
end.
eight? We had a
Wait till the
long.
end of the week, end of the month.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was nothing really that great overall, like for like creative fun decks. Like I think the only thing that was really cool in top 16 was one guy was running TN,
Yeah, I saw
like
that.
World Tournament. Yeah, that was a cool match. Like I felt bad because like Green's like the best thing for launch to play against.
Oh, you played
Um,
him in top 16?
yeah, and I felt really bad because
Damn, that's rough.
because he didn't draw very well against me, and then like he couldn't have a board, so like
You're
self
playing. He's
was
playing green.
yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't get any of those things.
Yeah, he just like he really needed to draw Cell Zeno to have an out, and he didn't. Like his deck is not made to draw like yellow, and like he just was like I just felt bad the entire time because you could tell his deck wasn't working the way it should be, which is what I feel like the problem with Green is right now. Like sometimes it's the best deck in the format, like Go Tanks, and you're like, man, this deck looks so good, and then you watch them play a second game, and you're like, Go Tanks is a really bad deck. Like this deck is inconsistent. And that's what I feel like it is for all green leaders right now. But besides that, we had the Black Mass saying, but that was it, right? Like,
Yeah, Black Man Sin and
I mean,
TN
everything
was the
else.
only ones that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. I'm trying to think. It was one Black Man Sin, one TN, like two Vegeks,
I know
two
no
Mekas,
Hatchiaks make it.
two.
I mean, there was 3 Hatchiaks at the tournament, but I don't think any of them made top.
Nah, bro.
And a Blue Baby made it, I think. And
Yeah,
that was about it.
there's a blue baby.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the guy who kept counting my hand, he made it. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, that was about it, man. So yeah, only thing. But let's see what else we got. We got Black Man saying best black deck, not even close, my friend. TN is the way cool deck. Played him game one, really easy to figure out. Yeah, that's the thing about Green. It's just like what Robbie said. It's rough for Green right now, but shout out to him. It's Nick Larson. Yeah, Nick Larson. Shout out to him for making top 16. I believe he's a local out there, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to him for doing this thing, man.
I have no idea who's where anymore.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
feels
think
like
he's around here because he used to work in the theme parks. I don't want to put his business out there, but like I'm pretty sure he's a local.
Oh yeah,
shout out
yeah.
to him
You're right.
for being.
He had a Disney mask. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Shout out to him for dominating with TN. Decked out Vegeks on stream, Eddie. Who decked out Vegeks? How's that even possible? What? How's that even possible?
Yeah, they overwhelmed too much, and so they were able to deck them out.
Oh man, that's rest in peace, my friend. That's neg. that is a neg feeling. In top 8, damn, that is a neg feeling. Agreed. No black deaths comparison. All right, card games is trolling. Do you guys have any more things you guys want to add on before I go on? Like, I guess my expectations going into PBG Miami.
Nope, I was about to say it's 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna go to bed because I'm an old man.
All right, my
you guys
friend.
have fun. I'll see you guys in the morning.
We will.
Yeah, Matt did make an aggro version of the Mecha Freezer deck. That's one of the first things we both talked about when he showed it to me. I'm like, this in theory would be fire for best of 1, but best of 3, I don't know. Like who? Like was Andrew, Jonathan, all those guys there?
Was who?
Like Andrew, Jonathan, Justin.
Oh no,
Juan?
Andrew and Jonathan wasn't there. Justin was there. Juan was there. They were there. But no, I mean, it's just like playing against. I mean, like the conversation we had, because the first things you brought up were, the first thing you brought up was like the slug package when we first had the conversation, and then I basically talked about my logic of like, I think that like if I just play the slug package, then I'm committing myself to playing a longer game, and I just don't think Mecha's good in long games. Like whether if you're playing against King Piccolo, they'll eat you alive. If you're playing against Dark Broly, they'll eat you alive. So why not just be the deck that abuses its life total the best and just use that to just be aggressive and try and like be tempo and like combo oriented. And then that's when our conversation turned. And then we were like, okay, well, let's just go all in on this plan. And then it went from there. So I mean, it was cool because I didn't do a ton of playtesting, like at all. It was a lot of theory, and it was just cool to see it play out that way, because it was just all about building a board on my opponent's turn at their expense, being able to do things that they couldn't really interact with, and then just the premise of tapping them out as quickly as possible was the part that was so successful, and just being able to just abuse things, like things that are not fair. Like Unite a symbol, doesn't matter if you're getting a body off of it or not. That card's just not. Taking a life and drawing 2 cards it's just not fair, especially when you're like, I would see like my hand would be a book and I would see almost every card in my deck, and that's how I was winning. Like when you have your entire deck in your hand, it's like you're going to find a way to win. And that's kind of the best part about it. Like your skill really shines through there. Cause like once you have all those options, like navigating a victory, that's where the skill comes in.
Exactly. That's facts. I guess my question to you, did you beat them so fast game 1 that they just didn't realize what they can do game 2? Because like, that was the biggest issue I had. Like after we finished figuring out everything, the ratios, everything, I'm like, okay, cool. Now, how do you make this consistent? But then we ran out of time. That's why I'm like, okay, cool. Just hit me up and let me know like what changes you make. But we never got to that point because honestly speaking, I saw you like all your game 1s you'll win because people are like, what the hell is this? What is that Frieza? They picking up reading cards. And by the time they get done reading their card and look at the board, they're looking at it sell Zeno to the face and it's like, oh shoot, like what just happened? So like how was the transition for your opponents between games 1s and 2s? Were they just still not grasping the concept or like?
So the thing is that the biggest thing that pays off is my suite of extra cards, since they're so like tailored against any deck that wants to play battle cards. And that was kind of what I was going after. So any deck that's trying to play battle cards, you play into exactly what I want. That's
balls,
why
you weren't playing nothing. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, giant balls, tyrannical blow, like the 1 cold bloodlust, like I had the 3 final flashes, like everything that you're doing, I have the ability to do something against. And so you either have the option to not play battle cards and not progress your game state, or you do, and then you just get hard punished every single time. And so that was just the thing, is like I'm playing this game where I'm condensing it into 3 turns. So just think of me as like, think of like Reboot Gohan or Red Broly, but think of it backed behind someone that just basically gets to stop you from playing the game. Like that's it. That's it.
Broken. Yeah, that's broken.
Yeah, that's it. Like, if I leave up Crusher Ball on turn 1, like I go charge, I can plan it for something. Turn 1, Giant Ball, play a 4-drop. Now I have a 15k plus my leader swing, use U9 a symbol because you're probably tapped out, take a life, draw 2, get a threat, and then I have an energy up for the promo. Like, so then now promo comes down. So then my board just keeps building, and then you just keep running out of options. So it's just like, the games just close out really fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. Desperate Eric said, when is that? It's the very last weekend of May. It will be the first event for the Pro Play Tour. I think we are going to announce the actual Bandai Regional pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. But the last weekend of May, it's the 29th, I believe. Let me double check right now. I think it's the 29th. And then the 30th will be Go format, so stay tuned for that. All right. So I guess the only thing that leaves, because I don't want to go like hour-long team talk sessions no more. I don't do like 30 minutes, 45 minutes max. I guess we caught up on all the questions, comments, and concerns. We can start hitting on closing statements. And like I said, guys, if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns by the time I hit my closing statements, I'll always be sure to go through comments and address those issues. But right now, I think I caught up on everyone's. Since I like that, I need to see this map. Yeah, I'm going to put his deck profile up tomorrow morning. It'll be up. But Jax is going to be good again next set. Technically speaking, those promos are legal right now. So if you have those, I put it up this morning, I believe. My version of Jax would be coming out. So yeah, if you have access to those SS3 Gogeta promos, man, you're in for a good money. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. But yeah, that deck profile will be out in the morning. So I'll let Matt start up on the closing comments. And like I said, guys, feel free to ask anything you want in the comment section below. So
yeah, did you want to talk about PPG Miami?
We can. What do you want to talk about? It's up to you.
I mean, I just think
It's
if
not like
we
the deck's
like,
going into it, or
yeah, just like general consensus of what people are talking about, right? So we're seeing hype on the black decks. We're seeing hype on King Vegeta coming out of set 13. I still think Mech is incredibly well positioned. So the deck that I played this weekend is basically just a modified version of the set 13 list that I've been playtesting. Because I just can't play Power of a Super Saiyan. But I think Mech is incredibly well positioned heading into that, because again, it's that suite of reactive cards versus things that want to play battle cards of the board. But as Eddie just mentioned about Vegex, I think with the new promo, that deck just stays around because it just gets to play like the hate style cards, like True Fighting Spirit, Black Mass Saiyan in the main, Kuitsukai. You get access to a lot of tools and resources. So, Eddie, do you think there's any new decks coming out of set 13 that are going to be able to have a fighting chance early on?
I do. I think decks, I'm sorry, Matt, such as Mecha Frieza, such as King Piccolo, the decks that use their life as resources are gonna have real problems. So I'm telling you guys, you guys think I'm trolling. Just because I don't promote this deck and I don't do deck profiles for a deck, I'm telling you guys, King Vegeta is going to come out of that set literally from his, like, you see how he has a king, the king, it's gonna come out like a king. I'm not even trolling you guys. Like, he's gonna come out hard, and it's not gonna be fun playing against someone who has those promos. I think that's gonna be the biggest challenge, are people getting those promos, because that deck, like I said, I don't really promote playing that deck because I hate playing against it with the burning passion. But that deck is fire, guys. That deck is insane. I'd put that deck up in the top decks of all of Dragon Ball so far. I struggled playing against it with Dark Broly, and guys, I don't struggle with anything with Dark Broly. When I play that deck, guys, it's a hassle for me. So I'm like, bro, why do I have to play this? Like, the deck is really, really good. I don't want to overhype it because I'm not gonna. If I had the cards, though, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I would play it if I had the cards. That's how good it is. I'm not gonna even troll you guys. The only problem I see with that deck is, I guess I don't know how it fare against the troll decks. When I say troll decks, don't get offended, guys. I'm talking about troll decks like Blue Baby and Invoker. I can see a world where, hey, yes, you get that down to 4, and then I don't even want to go down that route because I don't want you guys to get ideas of how to play that deck, because that deck's annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Are you talking about Red Green King Vegeta?
I don't even want to say a certain color. All I will tell you guys is King Vegeta is a force to be reckoned with. If you are a deck that really likes to use your life as resources, look at that deck. Just look at that deck and be ready for that deck. That's all I'm going to say on that. If you're playing, let's say, Dark Broly, understand, guys, there's floodgates. Before we even get to Dark Broly, like all that stuff, guys, there's some cards that I want to put out there. I told you guys, I think every single team chats now, I think that's the only thing I talk about more than Vegeta and Dark Broly are these cards. I don't have them on me, but it's the Battle Evolution extra card negates. Guys,
Cards of the
please,
Stones. Yep.
please, those guys are free negates that say I'm gonna play a blocker. So technically, they're 2 negates. And you guys want to know the best thing about it? Remember I told you earlier to get your Koetsukai now? That's the only thing they can interact with them, because Black Power Mass saying it's a counter skill, so it's a keyword. So Dark Power Black Mass saying doesn't hit that stuff. Now this guy does. I mean, he does, but it's not really as effective because you're just warping one. And if you have multiple, lights bad. If you have multiple, you're going to warp for each one. But Dark Power Black Saying doesn't hit it because it's a counter skill that's playing those tokens. So if you're red, if you're blue, green, and yellow, get a place for those cards. I believe they're commons. They're commons, right?
Yep,
Okay.
they are.
Have a place for those cards, guys. Those cards are really, really, really good. I'm not trolling. And if you can't afford things like Violent Rage and stuff, you guys may say Eddie's wild, Eddie's trolling. Don't believe me? Go look at Marcel Russell's list. I believe he got top 4. He played no Violent Rage and King Piccolo, but he played 4 of the red ones. I think the red one's like with the Cyberman, wherever it is. He played 4 of them and stopped it. Because you guys don't understand. It's a negate that has tokens. Mm-hmm. That's a blocker, dude. Like, it's a negate that has and I believe 2 of them. I'm not sure which colors at the top of my head because I don't play them. I should know the knowledge though. That's how you could tell them behind. 2 of them are, I think, 10, and while the other one has combo power or something like that. I forgot what it was. I think one of them has 2 of them have combo power, and the other 2 that don't have an extra 5k as their attack boost. I'm not sure which one it is. I would have to double check them. But play those cards. If you are playing red, blue, the original four colors, red, blue, green, and yellow, have access, have a place to those cards in your library. They're bulk, dude. But those are probably bulk cards that'll cost money because they're not a core set. Don't forget, they're in a special battle village set. So if I were to give you guys right now a tidbit of what cards you should pick up, it should be those cards. I get 100% seeing those cards being like, you remember when Sensu Bean, like set one, it was all staples, but it was commons, but then they were like $5 Sensu Beans. I can
Yep.
see those, like, I'm not even trolling. I can see those cards being that kind of, they're just that good. Like, just, it stops two attacks. All right, that's my rant on that. Yeah.
No,
So,
the thing is, like, you're right about that though. And when I made the drive to the airport, I like did a small podcast and I talked about how it's going to be interesting to see how like you continue to see these like free defensive tools
Mhm.
that like use some sort of resource.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, the more you can abuse those free resources to reduce your deck's overall cost and how many resources you're having to commit defensively, the way better off you're going to be heading into the next set for sure.
Exactly. And the fact that they don't say once per turn, dude, like you can literally say, okay, I don't have something like Dormant for green, but hey, I'll play this. I have another negate. Okay,
Yep.
you blocked. Oh, you summon something else. Okay, I'll play another one and have another. It's literally two negates in one. It's nasty, guys. Like it's. I'm not trolling. It's nasty. So oh, there it is. Someone said the red and green ones have. Yeah, the red and green ones have 5K combos. You see what I'm talking about? So it's really really good. So guys, that's my for that. Because I like to give you guys a little free chicken for each team talk for you guys tuning in. There's a lot of free chicken I could give away. I'm not gonna give away the King Vegeta free chicken yet until PPG Miami. Like I said, guys, I'll tell you right now. So I don't want to be like, all right, Eddie's not telling us his spice. The deck is a deck. The deck is a deck. That's all I will tell you. The deck is a deck. If you like blocking your opponent out and playing a control, if you're a control player, I highly advise you to think outside the box. Don't cage yourself. Think outside the box. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I hate playing against it, but I'm not gonna lead you the wrong way because I hate playing against it. I'll just leave it like that. What other decks do I see coming out of that set? Um, decks itself, I Meki is on the fence, right? Because Meki, if you're running against Dark Broly, I can see you doing fairly well. Like it was the last UGM where it's like I think 11 or 10 out of the top 16 were playing Dark Broly. I can see Meki doing fairly well. But if it's diverse where you see King Vegeta, I'm not saying King Piccolo because I don't see how that deck beats King Piccolo. All right, King Vegeta. If you see King Vegeta, if you see a mixture between Dark Broly and Mech and all that good stuff, I don't know how well you'd see Meki because Meki it's like a worse off Invoker and Blue Baby when it's not going against Dark Broly where it stops you but doesn't have a boss that says, okay, cool, you're gonna die like right now. But against Dark Broly, it does. Like I said, any that's outside of it, that's my only issue with Meki Cabrera. Um, the card that will have the most impactful stride, in my opinion, will probably be the Vegeta's Imposing Presence. Because if you're playing Red Broly now and you don't have Violent Rays, that card is really good, guys. Not only that is it really good, the card I was talking about earlier with the free negates that has blockers, you're still gonna have to neg your guy. What is it, 10K, I believe? Or is it 10 or 5? I forgot what it is. You're gonna have to neg your guy before you attack. So that card is really good. And Red Saint Leaders, if you look at it, it's a lot. Like Robert Rietze, I don't want to put his business out there, but I can 100% see in the future where Robert Rietze goes to Red Green Broly Stork. I don't think it says. Does it say Mono Red? I'm not sure.
Imposing Presence? Yeah. I think it's Mono Red.
Oh, it has to. Okay, good. I'll take that back. Because I could have seen someone like Robert Rietze going to go play Broly Surge, Red Green, and just going to work like he always does. But yeah, you have Red. What Red Saints are there? That's it. Yeah, it's King Vegeta really and Red Broly. But yeah.
you have to try and find the good ones. Like who are the good ones?
Exactly. Like the good ones are missing that oomph. Yeah, I think that would give Red Broly a little cause. But
Red, I mean the red baby leader picking up something like that's kind of neat. Like I don't think it's necessarily competitively viable compared to everything else, but it's interesting.
There's a lot, but we'll probably see a Red Saiyan leader for summer because that card is extremely good, guys. Make no mistake about it. Like I would 100% rather run into a Violent Rays than run to that card. That's how good it is. I'm not gonna try because Violent Rays, I'm like, okay, cool. You neg 2, and if I attack correctly, you're gonna lose 4 cards that turn. But with this, you don't even lose an energy, dude. I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty good. Let's see. The more free stuff Mecha Frieza plays, the less life they have to lose. Exactly, and that's why I tell you guys, like, I know you love the deck, Matt, but we're gonna have to test against King Vegeta, dude. Because when you don't have life, it's not a fun day, bro. Like when you have 4 life, it's not a fun day at all. Let's see. Eddie Matt, thank you for your support. I'm at the gym. All right, bro. No problem, man. Like I said, hey, Eric, bro, appreciate you guys for running an event at Gamers. Next one, I promise I'll be there. We could get together and work on something. But yeah, next event, hopefully, whatever you guys Bandai date gets announced and approved, let me know, and I'll help you guys promote it. And I'll 100% be there. I just couldn't make it because with this new job, it's like you have to put off like 3-4 weeks in advance. And I'm like, bro, it's not gonna happen, bro. Because I think it was like at a 2 week mark. It just wasn't gonna happen. And if the only way I could have made it is by someone taking my shift, and I wasn't able to. So, Butters Inc. says Matt Coombs is my dad. Oh man, you have children running around.
Hey man,
yeah.
happens.
So for set 13, yeah, I think that's the only real impact. Like I said, there'll probably be other decks. You'll see Gohan. There's a lot of cool concepts coming into it, but in my opinion, those decks, it's like my whole thing with black decks, right? I know you guys hate when I say this, but there are certain black decks that have an advantage against other things. Like I don't have them on my Jax. You'll run into a lot of fun matches until you go against things like Matt that has the Mecha Freezer. Because if you don't have Quetzalcoatl there, it's just gonna be neg. Or if you're going against Launch loves seeing that go wide. It's just gonna be neg. So yes, against decks, certain decks you have like a really really good matchup. Gogeta against your worst matchup, in my opinion, for black is blue. You have a really good matchup because all your floodgates are in there. But now the one deck that's just doesn't care, it's just fairly even across the board is something like this, right? Because no matter what color it is, what deck it is, it's just fair. Worst case scenario, you stop a turn, but when you stop a turn, it's still losing your card. So it's not like you're just stopping my turn without doing anything, if that makes sense. Now this is where I talk about set 13 decks, where there's a lot of good decks but they'll run into a current good meta, like a Mecha Freezer deck that gets its new toys, and you're just not going to do anything. And I'm sorry, but if you're not going against Mecha Freezer deck, yes, you'll have time to excel. But it's the same concept being. So there's a lot of good decks. I see the blue go on doing something, but once again, this decks you'll run into, you won't do anything. All your guys are 20 something K and above. Everyone's maining Violent Rage for this guy. So stuff like that, you guys gotta think of. Let me see for red. We already know what red deck is going to come out. For green, a lot of hype behind King Cole. Unfortunately, for the Pro Play Tour events, GOAT format will be day 2. But if there's a day 1 event, I would agree with you. Where King Cole, hey, you'll be able to do something. King Cole is not able to just go off like that on a best of 3 event. Best of 1, 100%, I can see it. It's like the whole theory where when Best of 1 was announced, we said Invoker was going to take it over because it's hard to side deck against Invoker. But luckily, red is a thing. So luckily for King Piccolo, you can mainboard things like the Goku, just tap 2 and destroy the Vegeta, stuff like that. You don't really have that luxury for King Cole. Like, yes, you have the same cards, but it's going to be really, really hard for you to beat your opponent back to back once they know what the deck does. But 100% is a good deck. It's 100% a good deck. For black, we have the Mecha Cabrera. What's yellow? What is yellow?
Yeah, it's the future Gohan and Android 17 and 18.
Oh yeah, that's bro.
Basically, just like like
I played against that Android 18. Like it's a whole bunch of cool stuff, but what I played against, it was a whole bunch of stuff revolving on the drop. So if I warp it with anything, you're done for. You like tap my stuff, then you negate something. So it's like you have to have your drop not affected. Plus, you have to have a way to negate the black. It's a bunch of stuff like you have to do. So I wouldn't really steer towards it. The Gohan and Trunks, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the one with the evolve stuff, right? Like you will have the Gohan on board and it gets removed and you a free evolve over or something like that. That's a lot of work to do a lot of stuff. So the yellow deck would probably be just a Mecha Freezer, dude. Mecha Freezer is gonna be busted 100%. But yeah, that's my takes on set 13 going in. Do you think I've missed anything for that going into PPG Miami?
No, I honestly think that of everything we talked about, like people are really hype on King Cold, but I think that deck is like very play draw dependent. Like I think if it's on the play and doing its thing, it has a shot at winning.
Yeah.
Which makes it tough in best of 3. But like
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, but like King Vegeta is definitely probably the number 1 pick coming out of it, and then it's not like Meki Kubura is a bad deck. I think it's a
It's not.
very
Yeah, it's not. It's not at all.
yeah. I think it's very good. I just think that probably the second best deck coming out of it or leader would probably end up being the Blue Gohan.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's probably the most strongest about it is the turn 2 awakening. Like guaranteed turn 2 awakening. You're gonna have it's basically draw 2, untap 2 leader because the way that it works. So very strong, and then you'll just have access to all the blue defensive tools. You'll have a high life total, and you just get to play 20k beaters every turn for essentially free, which is like it doesn't sound exciting, and it's not, but it's like, but it doesn't mean it's not good. So I think that Blue Gohan's probably like the one that has like a decent shot at doing well, just because Blue's defensive tools are so good.
Yeah, another thing with the blue deck, right? What he's saying on Blue Gohan, there's an old combo that I would highly recommend you guys try out if you're playing that deck. It's with the 7-drop UI Goku. Essentially, your opponent has to have a negate or they're dead because it's a 30k that says this card when it attacks, it's a triple strike. You can't combo cards, so it's either your opponent literally has a negate or they're dead. Unless you're playing black. If you're playing black, they'll have the brainwasher. If you're playing yellow like Mecha, you'll have the final flash. But if it's the other colors, you're just dead, dude. Like it literally has to be a hardcore negate. That's it. You can't interact with it. So be very vigilant on that. King Gold is cold-blooded. Like I said, we both said King Cole is good, but the consistency to do that in a best of 3 event, not just one match in multiple rounds, dude. That's risky, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's super, super risky.
Yeah, it's just like if you like, let's just say you're round 1, you do the dice roll, you end up going second. Like you have to steal serve, like going second, like in game 1. Then game 2, you'll be favored, but then you're back on the back foot in game 3, and it's just like that just feels so bad in a deck like that. Like
that's only round 1
because it's like. Yeah, it's like it's not like it's bad. Like it's not bad by any means, but it's just the deck that's just virtually different on one side of the table versus the other. Like if you're on the play, it's a drastically different game.
Facts. That's 100% facts. Let's see. Yeah, Nick, if you're gonna come back, bro, I highly recommend you come to our locals on Thursday because that's the shop championship. They will be giving out free promos. Like you get a chance to get one of these freezer promos, dude. Has the KO battle card on both players' turn, plus bigger more. And green token markers. Like, I don't know what to say. We're not arguing that King Cole is bad. We're not saying it's bad at all.
No.
But yeah, I think we're beating a dead horse on that. And I think we caught up on all of everything. So yeah, I think we caught up on everything. Oh yeah, Kusa rejects for life. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, Butters, I'm excited to see what you bring to the table because I know you really like green. So I 100% know you'll bring something, but like I said, man, it's like you're a great player, Butters. But imagine if instead you're playing Clash Goo, you're playing something like Mecha Freezer or Invoker or like Dark Broly. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a good deck, but then you don't have to depend on the Dyro or anything else where you can play these other decks to be consistent throughout an entire event. Not just one round, not just 2 rounds, but throughout an entire event and into top cut, leading all the way up to hopefully a W. So that's the biggest issue I have with the deck. But yeah. All right. So now, what else do you want to talk about? Or do you have closing comments? I think we're about that time.
I honestly think that like that's probably a good topic for us to do sometime is that concept of deck selection and kind of breaking through that wall where so for me I have this thing where like I enjoy winning the most when I'm winning on my own terms. So doing something that's like that is unique, that is innovative, like that's when I enjoy winning. If I win with something that's stock, I don't enjoy it as much. That's just never been my thing. And so it's always been really hard for me just to play top tier decks at events. Like it's always hard for me because like I just don't enjoy it as much, but I just know that if I did, my results would probably improve so much because it's like I'm playing something that's proven, consistent, and like getting rid of that like kind of that arrogance that like I know better, if that makes sense, and just kind of just like, okay, well this is like the community says that this is what's the best. Let me figure out if that's true. And if it's not true, then I'll deviate. But if it is true, then I should probably just figure out what's the best thing to play right now. So I think that would end up being an interesting topic to talk about sometime, is just deck selection and kind of getting out of your own way in that respect. Even though, Butters, I think you should play green 100% because you're a fantastic green pilot and you love it, which means you're going to play it even better. But I think eventually I would love to see you playing something that's like top tier, just because of how good of a player you truly are.
Yeah, it's big facts. Has KO battle cards on both sides. Yeah, yeah. But all right. But closing comments for me would be, yeah. I mean, I think we pretty much hit up on everything else. Like deck wise for it. Once again, if you really like that blue Gohan package, really look at that combo between the 7-drop UI Goku. It's really something that's really, really good. For everything else, if you have Mecha, hold on to Mecha. It's just only going to be better, honestly. I honestly think Mecha will probably be the first card that gets banned slash routed twice because everything you make moving forward is just busted. You're like, okay, cool. Why play any other yellow leader unless it's leader locked? Now, if it's leader locked, it's a different story. But it's like, okay, cool. It's like the new extra card. Well, it's not leader lock. It's broken in Mecha Frieza. Whatever comes out is going to be just broken in Mecha. There's no incentive to play any other yellow deck besides Mecha Frieza. That's my logic behind Mecha Frieza. 100%, I think it'll go again. Probably this one will go, while the other one will stay because it's errata. But 100% a great deck to pick. King Piccolo, you'll be fine as long as, in my opinion, you don't run into King Vegeta, because I honestly don't know how that deck wins at all. I don't even think it's possible, honestly, because you're going to start at 6 and keep going down and down. They're not going to attack you. You're going to awaken, and they're going to go down. It's going to be really, really bad. Like I said, I don't want to really get into the little tidbits of King Vegeta itself. Dark Broly, a lot of players, I don't know, I make a video on the side because I feel like a lot of players are just playing the deck just because they understand it's a good deck, but they're not grasping the concept of how to actually perform with the deck at against certain matches, essentially. Because I looked at the top cut spread, and I'm like, there's no way in the world there's only one Dark Broly player and a Baby player made it over another Dark Broly player. Because, for instance, Baby should never beat Dark Broly players at all. Because post game one, number one, whatever floodgates they have, you don't care. They go on you, bottom deck, swing with 30k, bro. Okay, bottom deck again, swing with another 30k. They'll awaken that fast. Like in a blink of an eye, they'll awaken. Games 2 and 3, they're not even gonna awaken games 2 and 3 to be able to do anything because you'll have these bad boys on board and you'll have your Super Kamehamehas. It's gonna be a game. So like I looked at the top cut, it was an interesting spread, but I honestly believe, and like, there was only 2 Mecha Freezers. It was Matt and someone else. Do you know what the other Mecha Freezer was playing? Was it mono yellow or blue yellow?
I think it was blue yellow.
Guys, don't play blue yellow. Well, I'm gonna stop it like that. Don't play blue yellow. Play.
Don't.
The first thing I told Matt when I saw his bill, ask him, "What did I tell you, Matt?" The first thing I said.
You first thing you're just proud because it was mono yellow.
Exactly right. The very first thing I told him, I said, "Matt, I'm proud of you." I was like, "Well, I'm like, because it's mono yellow and it's not this blue yellow shenanigans, bro. You will get locked. Don't do it moving forward, 100%." But yeah, I think we hit up on everything, guys. So yeah, let's just call it for today. On Wednesday, we'll get a topic. We could do what Matt said, where hey, we could go into nuances of actually deck picking for an event because PPG Rama is going to be huge, guys. It's going to be the first event where you set 13 cards illegal. So a lot of data and a lot of stats when they come to this event. A lot of big players are coming to this event, so be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try to prep you guys as best as I can for this event. So yeah, if you guys ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, always leave them in the YouTube section, in the comment section below, or tag me on Facebook. Don't message me because my messages are bad. Tag me. I'll see your comments over your messages. Trust me, my inbox is full. But besides that, I have nothing else. Matt, you have any last words before we go?
Oh no, just thanks to, of course, gamers for putting on the event, and thanks for everyone who came up to me, talked to me, messaged me. It was really great to be back out there competing again. So I just appreciate everyone just being so warm, and like it was just good to be part of the boys again. So shout out to everybody that was there, and thank you again for all the love and support. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, big facts. We'll be back with gamers again because I'm pretty sure I talked to Seth and then he booked for a Bandai in real life regional and they could hold plus 100 players. So I'm pretty sure I'll get it. Stay tuned for dates on that. And we love you guys. We will see you guys on the next episode, which will be today's Wednesday. Oh, today's Monday, which will be Wednesday. Deuces, guys.
All right. Later, guys.